Lord Snowdon, you were a cox, weren't you?
Oh yes,
Was that fun?
we won.
Yes.
Nothing worse than losing the boat race.
How young do they look?
Alistair MacLeod, David Jennings, Carrie Orman.
Is that you?
That's me.
Oh, you can see.
Come forward! I'm ready! Row!
How badly were you affected by polio? Because people don't think of you as being a disabled person.
No, good.
You were ill for a long time as a child?
Well, I was only in bed for a year.
It's a long time.
A year when you're 15 is quite a long time. I was in Wales and I went to the Liverpool Royal Infirmary
Right.
for 6 months. And that was great fun because people like Marlene Dietrich used to come and sing to me because they were playing at the
Wow.
at the Adelphi. It was wonderful.
That's amazing.
And you had difficulty walking afterwards?
Yes. But I do most things.
The process of recovery, because if you were coxing just 2 or 3 years later, did you work very hard at physio, at recovering?
I think so, yes.
Must have been. Yeah.
Quite a long time ago.
I think it's about the right circumstances being in place. So if you've sort of taken the same impairment with a different person, different family, just different, then it's all that kind of family support. Everything around makes a difference. The image of disabled people has changed so much since I was young, but there's still a lot of people think if you're disabled, you can't do anything. And, when I was doing my A-levels, I had somebody say to me, well, there's no point you thinking about going to university because you'll never get a graduate job. You might as well just learn to answer telephones.
Yeah.
And at 17, I was like, I don't want to answer telephones for my career. At that point, I wanted to be a lawyer. And I think it's giving people the opportunity to think about all the other things that they can do. I think people think, or would assume that we don't need the trust. And I think the original plan was that the trust wasn't going to last very long.
Yeah.
But it's to kind of remind people that we still need it, that it's really important that we give people help.
Do you remember when wheelchairs or people in wheelchairs had to go in the luggage van?
Yes. I've been there.
Unheated.
Yes.
On a train.
Happened to you?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's got slightly better now.
But it's still there. That attitude is still there. I got stuck on a train about 3 months ago, and somebody wrote on the internet that people like me should go in cattle trucks at the back, and that I shouldn't be in with everyone else on a train. Yeah, that I shouldn't. Yeah, and that's useful because you think, okay, we've still not got it right. Because actually,
Did they know who you were?
yes, yeah. But we shouldn't have to have all this extra help, but it's still needed to make it, to give people that bit extra chance. Just because you're in a wheelchair or whatever it is, it doesn't mean you should be excluded. It does still happen, and that's why the education's important. My father always used to say to me, Tanni, education gives you choices. And I used to sit there and think, yeah, what does my father know? And now, but he's right, because the better education you have, the more resilient you are, you're more able to cope with people who treat you differently. And sometimes people don't mean to be rude or horrible. and sometimes they do mean to be. But
Yeah.
you know, it's about trying to educate them as well. I think once you're at university or college, it's okay. It's getting there that's hard. The portrayal of disabled people at the moment is probably the worst it's been in about 10 years.
Yeah.
So at the moment, disabled people are portrayed as benefit scroungers, feckless, you know, not willing to work, not wanting to be in education, and it's gone back.
Yeah.
And that's really worrying because, you know, every disabled person's different, and actually so many disabled people I know want to be in education and want to work, and
Of course.
but there's a lot of challenges, and when economic times are tough, then actually disabled people need to be better educated, and have more experience and more skills, and that's really hard to get. So I think that's where the trust helps people, just that little bit of extra support.
Yeah.
It's not sort of some local council grants.
Yeah.
It's not. It's in the name of Lord Snowdon.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's a lot to live up to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
and I think, you know, the students who sort of receive the help, you know, work really hard.